I am not says, as an animator, I don't know I can agree that decoration isn't important. No, that's literally not what like, I'm an animator too, but I'm also a game designer and a programmer and a level designer. And as someone with all of those perspectives, you know, in the bigger picture, on its own, yeah, it's important. That's something I've actually been having to deal with a lot lately, because I think a lot of people don't understand that it's a pre-alpha and not like the final build. I have very limited time to do all these jobs, because I'm not just the animator, I'm also like 10 other things. So for me, it's like, alright, well, having some animations is better than no animations for a pre-alpha. Most studios probably just have cubes by this point, so at least I've got a character in there. Are the animations flawless? No, but that'll come later, because in the big picture, there are way more important things to focus on. If you were just an animator, like what you're saying here, because you are an animator, so I'd understand that you think that, but if you're also a game designer and a level designer and a graphic designer and a programmer, then you kind of get that broader perspective and you have to prioritize. And for me, as someone with that insight, it's like, all right, well, mechanically, this needs to be working before it's decorated. And there's so much more, like, a lot of people don't know what game design means a lot of the time. I find it quite funny. A lot of people I met as a student thought game design was just taking the art and the code and putting it together and you know, like implementing, which is not game design. Game design is really, it's psychology. And there's a whole other thing to that I probably won't get into, but essentially the way I think about it, like there's animations and stuff, but I also have to think, is the combination of these things I programmed, are these gonna send off the right kind of dopamine receptors? Like, is this gonna fire enough, like, is this one move going to fire dopamine in someone's brain to the fact that they want to keep playing it? Like, if I perform a jump, mechanically, is that satisfying, even without the polish? Like, is it fun and functional? Because if it can get fun and functional, then I can decorate it. Because if you can get it fun without the pretty decoration, then it's probably going to be good, in my estimation. Like, if you can make a game really fun with zero graphics, imagine how much better it would be with those graphics. But if you put in the graphics too early, like I've seen a lot of people do, everyone just focuses on the graphics and not on the actual game. And the actual game exists independently of the graphics. It exists independently of the art style. Graphics are part of the experience of the game, but the experience of the game is not the game. The experience is the game and how it's presented, which would go into aesthetics. But the actual game itself, people actually don't really interact with the game itself in most games. Like in Journey, you're only interacting with a basic movement script and a camera script and scripted events. That's the game. But you don't look at it like that. You see the mountains and the robed character and all the polish and everything, and that's all cool. It's important. But when you're a game designer designing the game, you need to do that first before the experience. Like, the experience is based on the game. You build an experience around the game. You can't build an experience around something that does not exist. And that's why I've kind of rushed through the animations and they're not finished. Because I probably shouldn't have done them at all, really. A smart person would have probably not have even bothered. But to me, I wanted to have a bit of that decoration in. And I know it's not finished, but it's like, I think a bit of it's nice. For you guys at least, because I am releasing it publicly for people to test. And I think, I would imagine people, it's more palatable when it has a bit of polish and art in it, because most people aren't used to playing games in their bare bones state. But of course, then I get all sorts of criticism like, oh, the decorations they're rushed and half baked. It's like, yeah, that's the point. That's exactly, yeah, of course they are, because I have 10 other jobs, and they will get baked in production. The game hasn't even entered alpha yet, so that's when I do plan to take care of that stuff. So that basic idea is, it's not important now. It will be important in the future. It'll be important to the experience, but now my priority is the game, not the entire experience. And it's animations exist independently of that. It has nothing to do with the game. The game is this stuff. It's getting this to work and to actually be kind of fun. And then I can go and start focusing on all the fun animation stuff later. So, because if you do that too early, if I did a ledge grab animation right now and then decided later that a ledge grab wasn't a fit for the game and it wasn't just chemically wasn't working, people weren't reacting well to it, then I just wasted like 2 hours making a ledge grab. So I hope you can understand that given all those priorities and that bigger picture, I can't exclusively focus on animations. So I hope that that comprehensively answers that, because I've had a lot of time to really think about that. And yeah, most animators, like, I'll get a lot of people commenting saying, as an animator this, and it's like, yeah, but you're just an animator though. You're not the guy, that's your only job. Of course you're going to see it from an animator's perspective, but it's a very narrow perspective. There's a bigger picture. And it's really hard to communicate that to people because it exists in my head, but I can't nor should articulate that to the public, because the way I do that is by making the damn thing, of course, but that's the big picture. But that comes at the very end when it all comes together and it's released. That's when you guys will see it, but that's like years away. So of course you guys won't see it now, but you're just gonna have to trust me, because I see it, I know where it's going. And if I decide something's not important, that's probably a good reason why.